Hello, everyone. I'm Ellen Sentier, and this is Celtic Noir. And this morning, I'm going to tell you a deer story. It's something that happened to me a very, very long time ago, and I really hope you'll enjoy it. This is Meetings, and it's a story from my book, Ellen of the Ways. I first met Ellen of the Ways in the flesh many, many years ago, back in 1969. I was at university at Exeter, and I'd come up for the weekend back home to Exmoor just to chill for the weekend and to go wild camping and walking in my beloved woods. And on the Saturday, I went down to the Barle. That's my favourite river. And I crossed the Dragon Bridge there and turned up into the woods that border and enclose the water. I walked along the river bank for a mile until I came to the 7 stepping stones over the little Westwater stream. Now they're very special. About 25 years ago, they got very shaky and wobbly, and so the park committee changed them for a nice new clapper bridge. And you know, that works very well. And the little valley has accepted it. So it's really like it fits into the landscape, like it's always been there. But back then, it was 7 huge stepping stones. I crossed over and stopped. And I got a really heavy, serious pull to go up the little valley of the Westwater, and into the copse. And after about a mile, I came to a glade, and there she was, a red deer hind and heavily pregnant. I stood stock still, holding my breath. She'd come there to drop her fawn, her calf. Am I in your way? I whispered. Shall I go? And then there was like a buzzing in my head, like a bee, and I saw the words, and they flickered like lightning in my mind. You may stay, she told me. So I stayed, watching. And her belly strained, flanks heaving, as she stood, hind legs parted, and it felt like forever, all the time in the world, and yet it seemed to take no time at all. And there was a rush, and the slippery fish of a baby deer fell into the grass. Immediately the hind turned to lick the calf, and soon the little one was on her feet, struggling, wobbling, wondering where she was, how she got here, and could she manage. But she was making it, and very soon she turned to suck. And then the hind looked at me over her baby's shoulder, and again the buzzing, the flashing words. Go now, she said to me. You have seen. Remember, remember me, and work for me. I nodded my head in salute to her and backed out of the grove. I'm not sure my feet actually touched the ground all the way on the return journey down the hill, and then across the stepping stones, and then back through the woods, and back again over the Dragon Bridge. And it all seemed to take forever, and yet no time at all. But I was changed. And Ellen of the Ways has been my mentor, teacher, and guiding spirit all my life. She's always here. Always her spirit is with me to call on if I need. And I often come across deer now when I'm out walking in the wild places, and they call me, speak to me, and they lead me along deer trods too. And she's the deer goddess. Ellen of the Ways is our ancestral and antlered deer goddess here in Britain, but in those days we had wild reindeer. And she's led us on the transhumance to the good living every summer and winter, since forever. And you don't tame deer, you know. They're always wild, and they don't follow you. You follow them. And the elder matriarch of the herd is the one who leads, grandmother dear. I felt I met Mother Deer, her daughter, that time in the woods. There's little or no writing nowadays to tell us anything. And anyway, they'd have written on hides or birch bark paper, and I've made both when I've been bushcrafting, and the fungus ink to write with, and the sharpened sticks and the quills. And I've left them in that place, the place we camped at, till we came back next time. And even when next time has only been a few weeks, the writing's not legible, not really, and the hide and paper have become lunch for beasties. So I don't expect to find much ancient writing. But, as my archaeologist friends themselves say, absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. So there's no reason to think that our ancestors didn't write. Maybe they even wrote their stories down, as I am now. But they didn't have a durable means of keeping them. And as they likely told stories all the time. I mean, my dad used to tell stories all the time. He used to do it driving, gardening, walking. They were always stories. Our ancestors may well have seen no need to have a durable means of preserving stories. They were always telling them. But modern life now is all rush, rush, rush. And it wasn't always like that. Even when I was growing back all those years ago, it just wasn't. And despite what you may have heard, farming is bloody hard work. Hunter-gatherers have a much easier time of it, like maybe only needing to work, like go hunting and foraging, a maximum of about 15 hours a week. And even then, it wouldn't be everybody. It would be the hunters, the ones who were good at it, who enjoyed it, and the gatherers, the ones who were really good at that too. Not everyone. And living with the land, as we did, and we did that so much more when I was a kid. Our ancestors certainly did do it, and as they lived it, it was a relatively easy life to how most folk have it nowadays. We had lots of time to talk, to tell stories, to do pictures, make things, and both useful things and lovely things, and maybe both at once. And our elders had plenty of time to talk, ponder, cogitate, muse, go on mind journeys as well as foot journeys. And they watched the stars and the seasons and found and created huge moon calendars, for instance, like the wonderful one in South Aberdeenshire, and that one's 8,000 years old. They knew the land in their bones. The land was their bones, is their bones. And it is ours too, if we choose to know it. And that makes such a huge difference to life and living it when you know it in your bones. I'm never alone. I live out in the wilds. My husband's for company some of the time, but I'm living out in the wild with no human company around. And I love it. I always have the land and always the beasties and the trees and the plants and the rivers and the streams and the clouds and the sun and the sky. I'm never alone. And that's all the things that Ellen shows us. That is her ways to realize that we are kin and kith to all the plants and the streams and the boulders and the rocks and the mountains and the rivers. They're our kith. They are both our kith, i.e. our land, and our kin. They're people we share the land with. And that's Ellen, and that's her ways. And she always loves to have more of us follow the ways. She's always welcoming to people who want to come and walk with her, follow her deer trots. And that deer meeting, way back in 1969, Yes, I'd had deer all my life, but that deer meeting, her allowing me to see her birth her calf, that opened and began a new relationship for me. As I said, I'd had them all my life, had deer all my life. It's a family thing. The family have followed Ellen's ways for hundreds of generations, mostly on Exmoor and Dartmoor, but we have Highlands links and Welsh ones too, and France. But when a deer comes and offers you her personal friendship in such an intimate thing as birthing her calf, that's a whole other thing. And I'll never, ever forget it. And I'll always be her woman. So there you go. That's it for this week. I hope you enjoyed it and looking forward to seeing you next time.